It's another side that like wants to take more, wants to go that one more round, because like going that one more round when you don't think you can, that's what makes all the difference in your life. You know what I mean?
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of One More Round, the Rocky Series podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and returning with us today, of course, is Katie from her vacation. Katie, how was it?
It was great. I was in northern Michigan, so water time. I didn't realize it was wine country, so did a lot of wine tasting. It was great. A lovely time.
I would have figured you would know where everywhere there is to drink in the States.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, there's all sorts of little pockets of wine regions that are lesser known, I would say. But yeah, great time in Michigan.
All right. Well, we missed you. How did you think Doug did in your place?
Good job. The trivia was a little tricky. I did listen, and I don't think that I would have come up with the word courage. That I would have had to really pull that. And you were like,
did you have a word? When you guessed, what was your word?
I didn't. I couldn't think of one.
Okay.
Sorry, I just came into this. Are we doing
Get your last week's answers really quickly.
Okay, then, I have them, and I didn't know if you guys did them without me, because I had to leave early the last one because my deep freeze broke. And so my wife was like, you got to get off the podcast now because there's like a ton of water all over the floor and all our food's going bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's the worst.
Because we had like a behemoth deep freeze that came with the house from like the 60s. It had so much stuff in there and then it died. So
we did do our tally. So I had 4, I believe, if you remember. I think I had 4 and Doug had, because I got the word wrong. And Doug had 3.
I think it was a trick question, the PSI, because it happens multiple times. The last one, it was like 2150 or something. Or 22
Katie,
or something.
Katie, I understand. But I knew you're going to come back with that. But it had to be the display one, because you're right. Because during the training montage, of course, we see Drago getting stronger and stronger. And the what do you call it? The steroids is making him like the superhuman strength. Rocky's going to be facing. You thought that the 1850 was bad, but now he's at 3000.
Yeah. Oh, was it 1850?
Yeah. It was 1850.
I got it right.
Remind me what the question was, though, because maybe I misheard it. Because.
Well, we'll do the trivia in just a sec. And then we'll just do it all together.
I feel like that was a bit of a trick question.
Sure. You're allowed to feel that way when you get things wrong. I understand.
I would support you, Katie, but I need to catch up to your score. So you're on your own.
No, we've been more than fair when people get things wrong. So
yeah.
Okay. So you thought Doug did okay, though, other than the trivia?
Mm-hmm. And I will say, I'm kind of glad that you guys didn't get into the fight, that I get to be here for the fight.
I did that a little bit on purpose.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Ryan.
He did say that at the end that we're saving the fight for Katie.
Yeah. I think I was going to, but we just got enough talking points. Yeah, we don't have to drag it out another half an hour. So
are we using Doug's score for Katie, or is Katie doing?
That's how it always is. Whoever fills in the person.
Okay, sorry. So Doug got how many?
3.
I like that. Good job, Doug. You got 4.
Doug. Appreciate it.
So he's got to figure out mine.
Let's do the questions for today first, and then we'll do all the points together at the end. Okay. Yeah, we ended with the question, what word does the ring announcer say Rocky defines? And we all said something different. I said awesome. I was thinking of Rocky 3 when they saw Mr. T. Awesome. Which isn't the right word, but I still came up with awesome.
I got courage.
That was right. So you got 5 of them, Kyle?
I don't know. I only know the PSI one and courage. I know I got right.
How many pounds of pressure does Drago punch? What'd you say?
I got 1850.
That's right on the money.
Time out. What does the question say for that?
How many pounds of pressure does Drago punch?
Trick question, because it's multiple different ones.
It's almost like a 10-year-old did this.
I know. Reminder. It's a 10-year-old.
I know, but but it is also true that he does. There's.
I would say that anything that is displayed on the machine is a valid answer.
Yeah, and
this isn't a court of law. This is a Rocky trivia book written by Tim. And we have
technicality, because Doug was also right.
I think we've had a time where the book was wrong and we went with the correct answer.
Well, when it's actually verifiable. Wrong. When it's wrong.
Well, in this case, the question Like, it's like almost saying, what's Apollo Creed's nickname? And then it says Master of Disaster, but it's like, okay, well, that is right. But then also it's like King of Sting, Count of Monte Cristo. Like, the book's incomplete.
I will stand by it's kind of not fair because there's multiple ones. I will argue that the highest one is actually the most correct.
I'm not going to support you on that because it didn't ask what his highest one is. It just says what does he punch at? And
I think the idea is because if I'm reading the mind of a 10-year-old when he wrote the book, it's the display.
But he displayed it at the higher one later too, didn't he, Ryan?
No, just to his trainers.
They show on the machine 2150.
No, but what I'm going to say was the demonstration. I keep saying display. I mean demonstration.
He didn't say in the demonstration.
I knew it was 1850 because the questions are roughly chronological, and I knew that the demonstration was around this time. So I'm like, I bet it's the 1850.
It's fine. Whatever. You guys can have it. Any should be allowed, but
I
whatever.
agree. I'm on your side for this one begrudgingly. Like, I don't want you to get points.
No, it's
again, the question is how many pounds of pressure does Drago punch? So you're right. In a court of law, if this was written by an adult, I'd expect better of somebody 20 and over. If I was marking a test paper or something, as a teacher, I'd be like, the question's too vague. It causes too many problems.
If Rocco here is listening,
he always listens. He listens to every episode.
10-year-old me is a total imbecile compared to you, so don't feel bad. Okay.
I mean, that's how I took the question, so that's how I answered. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm saying I took the question exactly like the answer. That's what, and so did Kyle. We both answered, thinking he's talking about the demonstration. Okay, then Kyle, we have whatever he hits, he destroys. Of course, you probably got that right.
I just put Comrade Big Mouth because that's the only thing I know him as. Okay.
He actually says his trainer, which we know it's more of his handler than trainer.
Yeah, I did get confused there because I'm like, I don't think the trainer said that, but.
No. What does Apollo call Drago's trainer?
Oh, Comrade Big Mouth.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Put like ditto marks under like for 3.
And you got the word courage, so good for you. Yeah. When was that said?
Creed and Drago fight when they introduced Rocky to the crowd.
Okay. Oh, and who does Rocky pull on the sled? Of course, was Paulie. So there you go. So Kyle got 5 out of 5. Wow.
Nice job, Kyle.
Wow.
All right. No pressure or anything for this week.
And don't forget, it was Doug that was playing for you, Katie, and Doug conceded to the book. So either way, it doesn't matter.
What did Doug put as the pounds of pressure, by the way?
I think he did 2150 as well. I think he went with what Katie. So both Katie and Doug had the same answer. Unfortunately, Doug playing for Katie conceded to I think
we should give him the point, honestly.
Stop it! No way! Forget it. I have been strict. I'm always objective when it comes to this stuff. I'm always objective.
All right, but okay, fine. But if I lose by 1 point, I'm going to be
by pissed. 1 second. It's a lot for one. It's a lot.
It's a lot for Katie's intelligence to handle.
Her intelligence. It's true. Look, we all know, Katie. Don't worry. Every listener knows you're smarter than me and Kyle. Well,
no,
you're smarter than me, anyways. That's when it comes to testing. Let's get into the actual questions of today. Ready?
Yes.
Who says, "Quote, you just shut up and all these puppets that you brought with you too."
I think Adrian said that.
I think it was Adrian. Yes. Next question. Who says, "Quote, Drago is a look at the future." Again, Adrian. True or false? Apollo winks to Rocky right before Drago and Apollo shake hands.
I don't know about this one.
It is a true false.
At least I have a coin toss chance, but that sucks. That one really sucks.
Because this is one where the wording will matter, I admit.
And yes. Yeah, never mind. I'm not going to say anything, but.
Next one. What fight are Rocky and Apollo watching at Rocky's house?
Okay.
Oh, you should have totally slipped a jab on that one. Is that the fourth question?
Yes.
Okay. True or false? Paulie's coat says, "Don't tread on me." True or false?
You know, Paulie would vote for Trump if he was alive today. 100% good. You know that.
Which is why there'd be strife in the household again, because Adrian wouldn't. But Republican and Trumpism are two different things.
Yes.
I couldn't see Sly wearing like a MAGA hat or anything.
No.
He is Republican. His brother Frank Stallone is definitely a Trump supporter. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah. Which is not surprising.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone listening to my Rocky podcast also listens to my Frank Stallone coverage, but check it out. It's really good.
I listened to it this morning. Always do.
And just in case there's a Trump supporter here, we still love you. We still want you to listen.
We love you.
I don't have a dog in this fight because I'm not American, but.
Katie, we have one email.
We do. This is from Michael. Hey, Ryan, Katie, and Kyle. Katie, I hope you enjoyed your vacation. Thank you, Michael. I did. Great job, Ryan, on pointing out the reflection of the Christmas tree lights in the theatrical cut. I believe Doug mentioned this, but it did seem like Paulie walked from right to left in the locker room shot in the theatrical cut, whereas in the director's cut, he walks from left to right. However, in the close-up shot of Rocky before the internal monologue, Paulie turns and goes back from right to left. I'm curious about the reason for the difference. Perhaps it was just a stylistic choice. Even as a kid, I never thought it made sense for Robert's friends to say, "What are we, a couple of nerds?" The word nerds didn't seem like the right insult in that context to me. Agreed. But he says, however, hearing Kyle's explanation, I can see it from that perspective. What was your explanation for that, Kyle?
Oh, I don't remember. I was just talking out of my ass. I think it's like a nerd is someone who's like not up on current events, who's not with it, doesn't know who the heavyweight champion is, or doesn't follow sports. Like those people are kind of nerds.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to like basically be devil's advocate, like Kyle, an apologist for that.
No, I think the line is bad, but however, I think your explanation saves it because if you look at it in the context of the 80s, that's what it would be, because a nerd doesn't watch football. A nerd doesn't play hockey. Yeah. A nerd doesn't play soccer. A nerd doesn't know the starting quarterback of an NFL team. So a nerd wouldn't know who the reigning world champion is or who they're fighting. So the only way to explain that line would be Kyle. But did Sly think that way when he wrote it? I don't know.
No. Yeah. And you're right. But still, it's like, even if you were a nerd and weren't up on those things, it's your friend's dad. You would like, it's your friend's dad.
Yeah, why else would you be there on Christmas Day watching this fight?
Yeah. So Michael goes on to say, I did appreciate one small change they made when Rocky looks up at the box in the director's cut, and then Nikolai Koloff looks down. In the theatrical cut, they show Koloff looking down earlier before Rocky looks up at the box. It feels like in the director's cut, they're almost looking at each other simultaneously, even with the distance between them. Rocky and Adrian do kiss earlier in Rocky IV. It's the scene between the training montages when Adrian arrives in Russia. They kiss at the end of the scene just before the second half of the training montage begins. Right.
The little peck. Mm-hmm. When he's like,
with you no matter what.
I'm with you no matter what. And then Rocky, like 10 feet away. What? And Adrian's like, can you speak up? I didn't quite hear you.
Come to me.
His tongue didn't come through customs.
Good one. Yeah. He says, it's interesting that the commentators didn't mention that Rocky probably would have had the speed advantage over Drago. It might be the only time in the franchise that Rocky would have had the speed advantage over an opponent. I can't say the word opponent. Keep up the great work. I'm looking forward to hearing your coverage of the big fight. Now, Michael, I think I'm gonna poke a hole in that, because you'd think just the smaller, scrappier guy would be stronger, but Drago's like way younger and also very fast. So I don't know.
I didn't get the sense that Drago was slower. I agree with you, Katie. In theory, someone who's like 265 pounds or whatever ought to be slower than someone who's 200 pounds or whatever Rocky is. They don't say his weight. Even the Russian guy, even our I had that intro translated into English, hoping they'd say the weight. The announcer does not say his weight. So we don't know how heavy Rocky is, but he is obviously lighter. I don't know if Rocky, in that sense, has, I'll just say, a lower BMI than Drago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because although he is lighter, he's also much shorter. Drago might be actually like a little leaner than Rocky in that sense, but his frame is just so big. In the fight, it doesn't seem like it. Like, it seems like Drago's throwing that jab really good into Rocky, and Rocky can't dodge him. Like, Rocky doesn't seem to utilize his speed advantage whatsoever, even though you think he would.
I hear it, and I think that's a good argument, Michael. But
it's not bad. It's not bad for sure.
Thank you for the email, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, our resident emailer. Look, we love it, Michael. And don't stop when I'm not saying this in regards to Michael or wanting him to stop, but guys, be more like a Michael. We need to hear other voices on the channel. And I just want to say a special welcome back to Hector, our favorite wrestler. I think he's listening to us again on YouTube.
Nice.
So thanks, Hector, for checking us out. And we appreciate you coming back. I know he's been busy. He listens to it only on YouTube. He listens to it at work, so it might be like a computer setup, so he's able to listen to us on YouTube. So thanks, Hector. Appreciate that. Okay, let's get into it. For the record, yes, we're only doing, I made the decision because my goal or hope is to get this done today. I don't mean that in a bad way. I don't think there's a need to do this for an hour and a half for half an episode. I think we get an hour and a half, get the final fight done, because when the final fight starts, we're just going to play it. Not really. That's like we've done with other seasons, right? We don't, the final fight's kind of, and there's a punch and there's another punch. Like, we get it. Like, it's all visual. But yeah. So we're going to let the rounds play as per normal, wherever we want. All I'm saying is before, we don't have to stop after every punch is all I'm saying, or after every block.
Yeah.
Also, we're doing the director's cut only. I've made that other executive decision. Kyle and myself and Ruben I don't think, Katie, you were with us yet, but we definitely covered Final Fight on the Going the Distance podcast. It is on this feed, on the Last of the Action Heroes podcast feed. So if you're listening to this on the One More Round feed, there is a standalone feed for this podcast, but the majority of the listeners almost listen to it on that feed. If you're curious about the original run through of this podcast with my brother and Kyle came in later, then Katie came in during the Creed films, check out Going the Distance, the Rocky series podcast. You can find it on the Last of the Action Heroes podcast network. So check it out, folks, and let me know if you need help finding it. I'll help you find it. Okay. So for today, we're just going to do the director's cut because it hasn't been covered before. There are some differences. Why not? If anyone boo-hoos about it, I don't care. There's just not. I can't go every round, every punch there because there are a lot of differences. That's what I'm getting at. There really is. Sly, and I want Kyle to see this. Sly did a lot of actual. It just feels like a different fight, and I think it's just worth investigating as a different fight. Rocky still wins. But if I remember correctly, it almost feels like it's not quite one-sided all the way until the end for Drago. I think it's more even-handed throughout the fight. Like it doesn't seem like Rocky's in danger as much as the original cut. It's more like it's an actual fight that Rocky is the victor of, but it's not like he's just getting destroyed. Like
kind of like how they made the Creed Drago fight a bit closer.
Agreed. It's less comic book, or it's less cartoony that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here we go.
I'm excited. I've never seen this.
So. Yeah, so let's do it. All right, here we go. So Rocky's praying in the corner.
Take it straight to him now. Take it straight to him and be a rock for me. You understand?
There's the bell for the opening round, and Rocky Balboa comes out to the center of the ring.
But you can see right away that Rocky does come out swinging, like he's punching.
Yeah. This is way better, actually.
Balboa gets out of the corner now, and now once more.
He's angry looking. I do find Rocky's, fighting style. It is kind of silly the way he moves, but it's fine. It's a movie.
I like how he's moving his head side to side. Actually, he's trying to avoid those punches, which is nice to see. You didn't see that as much before. Like he was just taking them.
Yeah, and he fell in the corner there, and he actually just tripped. He gets mad at himself. Like he didn't get knocked down. He just tripped on his.
And then the Nikolai guy was very happy about that. He's like, "Yes, my robot is doing his job."
Oh, Paulie says charge him too. I don't know if that's in the original, but that's like good advice.
Yeah, Paulie's yelling, cut him down. And so you can see both fighters are coming out. Rocky's character comes out aggressive right away, which he hasn't. I don't think he did that a lot in his other fights. Oh, he did in Rocky 3 in the first fight against Clubber. He did come out swinging. But so here we go. Oof. The power and strength of Drago showcased here. Yeah, when Drago's landing these punches, they're going to hurt. They knock Rocky down, and he gets up, and you're not allowed to hit him when he's down, are you, Kyle?
No. When Rocky's down like that, if you have a knee or a glove touch the ground, the ref should step in right away and do a standing 8 count.
Yeah, see, he's on his feet, but Drago
punch him here.
Clocked.
No, like the ref should get him set up again. Like if you have a trip, that's fine. It doesn't count as a knockdown. But the ref should come in and get you stood up and say, okay, you're up. Okay, now continue the fight. Like you can't hit a guy while he's trying to get up.
We're shown that he's taking advantage of the Drago is seeing that, and he's like, ooh, I'm going to take advantage of this. And again, his people are happy about that.
Like the ref probably is A, favoring Drago, and I think B, honestly, is probably terrified to get in the middle of these two. Like if you catch one of those 1,850-pound shots, you're going to get laid out.
Do you think this ref got executed afterwards, after this fight?
Yeah. No, he just got sent to Siberia to like clean toilets or something for the rest of his life.
Isn't he the American ref, or is he?
Yeah, Marty Jenkins, the ref for Rocky 3.
So he's the American ref. So yeah, So I don't know
defected.
If he's defected. He's been paid off by the Russian Federation. Okay, so Rocky goes down pretty hard here. Sly, great stunt work by Sly. And I want to say something else about Sly and his stunt work. I saw an interview with Hogan. It seemed fairly recent-ish. He looked older in this interview. It was on a podcast. And because I mentioned this during the Rocky 3 charity fight episodes, and either I was on Going the Distance or one around it, I don't remember. I don't know who it was, if it was you guys or somebody else, but I remember hearing the argument that wasn't Sly. And I don't know who said it. Somebody made the point that it might not be Sly or was a stunt double. You can't really tell. And so anyways, Hogan verified that no, and as I figured, it was Sly every which way. Every suplex, backbreaker, flips, whatever it was. He says Sly got beaten up good, that he took it in stride and he loved it, but also it was Sly that Hogan had almost, because he's a wrestler, right? He's like, Sly took all the hits, he took all the bumps, and that was him. And we talk about when he lifted him up. He said that was Sly lifting him up, as you see in the movie, and him struggling, having his legs shake. That was all real. Like Sly had a hard time getting him over the ring, and that was all real, though, that he picked up Hogan and threw him over the ropes.
Say what you will about Sly. One thing you can't say that he's afraid. That guy is very brave. He's willing to get punched in the face for real. He's willing to get hurt. He's willing to do the stunt. Like, the guy has courage, and the guy is tough. He is tough. Not a lot of people could take that kind of punishment. That's kind of like an area where him and Rocky are kind of the same.
One of the Facebook group commenters provided the name. We had inquired what that bench training, like the ab workout, where he's we had inquired
Bruce
with that.
Lee? Was it Bruce Lee did it? Or
we're like, what's that called? And then he did provide, he's like, I think it's called whatever. And then he provided a video of Sly doing it again for like Rocky Balboa. So he was like 60-ish. He was still able to do it then.
It's called the Dragon Flag. It was first done by Bruce Lee.
Oh, okay. There was a whole thread about that in the Facebook group.
Dragon Flag or Dragonfly. He might have said it wrong. So somebody else came and said Dragonfly, but same thing. Okay, there you go. Dragon Flag, Dragonfly. Awesome move. There was a great video of Sly doing it in the 60s side by side with the Rocky 4 montage. So there's a YouTube clip of that. Is that what you're referring to? It's okay. You saw that.
Yep. And it was great. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think most men could, even in their peak, could do that in their 20s, let alone their 60s. Like, that's insane.
He has decent genetics, and he also has spent his whole life training. A lot of us, you'll hit the gym for 6 months and tire out and then not do it for a while. But I think he's consistently worked on himself.
Oh, yeah.
And his physicality, and you can't replace that.
True. Louise
is calling it a Dragon Flag as well. So maybe it depends on, like everything, it could be called this in Europe and that in Australia and this in the US, but something Dragon something, and Bruce Lee did it. So yeah, go figure. Cool. I do it, but I do it privately. I don't film it. There's no need to show off.
You don't want to brag. You don't want to brag too much. I get it.
Oh,
yeah,
my body knows. My body knows. That's all that matters. And my wife knows. That's all that matters. Yeah. That's all that matters.
I was gonna say for this fight too earlier, I keep hearing Mickey say, "Go for the ribs, kid. Don't let this bastard breathe." Like, Rocky's doing this punches to his abdomen, but it's like the ribs aren't really protected no matter how strong you get. If I'm Rocky, I would go for this guy's ribs constantly.
Yeah, I agree, Kyle. There's a couple new scenes here, I think. Tell me if I'm wrong, but we see Adrian yelling at Rocky after he got knocked down to get back up, which shows the encouragement from her. The director's got definitely more Adrian support. She's not afraid. She's yelling for him to get up. Like, no, stay down. He's going to hurt you. She yells for him to get up and fight. Then you've got a senior Paulie dousing his head with the mouth water onto his own head.
It's such a workout for Paulie.
Well, yeah, he's nervous. He's sweating bullets. But again, Sly, I think he put that in. I don't think that was in the original cut. Either way, he keeps that comedy in. So Rocky's looking pretty dazed, though.
I feel like they keep going to the Politburo section a lot. And I guess I haven't watched the original fight in a while.
So they show him down for a long time here, like compared to the original.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Kyle. He is down longer. And the celebration of Drago is definitely dragged out as well. Like, he's already celebrating, hands up in the air. I don't think that was original.
Yeah.
Nope. No.
And then Rocky comes back and Drago just continues. Hey, great, you're back. And now we've got the advantage. Yes, advantage Drago.
Yeah, so Drago clearly won that round by far.
That's a great scene there. The look of Sly playing Rocky. The look that he has on, it looks like a little bit of disbelief, or like, this guy is strong. You see his face here, he's like, holy, did you see that look that Sly was giving Drago? And Drago's look back, you little bug.
Oh, look how happy he is. I just love that guy. He's so good. The Nikolai Koloff.
Yeah. Compare this feeling Rocky has, I wonder, to how he felt after the first round of the Apollo Creed ever, where his nose gets broken after, you know what I mean?
Right.
He has the encouragement of knocking Apollo down, but otherwise getting his nose busted, and he barely finds his way into the corner. Like, I think in Rocky 1, that's the oh shit moment. Like, I've never fought anyone of this caliber before. And I wonder if he's kind of has the same sort of feeling with Drago. Like, I fought Clubber Lang, I fought some heavy punchers, I fought Apollo and all these other guys, but like, this is totally another level.
I wonder how Spider Rico would do against Drago.
He'd have to fight dirty, not to headbutt him and shit.
That would be a funny fight. No one ever talks about who's stronger, Spider Rico or Drago.
I would love to see this version of Rocky fight Dipper and just put him in the hospital.
He did in the original script. He fought Dipper. Yeah,
I would have loved to see that. That would have been cool. I could see why they didn't do it
to get his locker back, or what?
Yeah, they filmed it after, not to get his locker back. It was, my understanding was, because I've seen photos of that filming, like the stock footage of it. What it was is after Rocky accepted the fight to fight Apollo. Rocky went back to the gym, I believe, with the press to kind of show his humble beginnings. Like, this is where it all began type of thing. He's with the press. And Dipper there was giving him grief of like, oh, look here, basically look at this guy gets to fight the champion right away and talks smack at Rocky. Rocky says enough of this and lays him out.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. It's in the original script. And I think they did film it as well because I've seen the footage, but it's in the script for sure.
What a tough first 3 minutes for Rocky Balboa. He's not only fighting what appears to be an invincible opponent, he's also fighting a very hostile crowd and the Russian premier and most of the Politburo looking on.
What's happening out there?
He's winning. I see 3 of them out there.
Get the one in the middle. Now keep taking it to this guy, okay? Or you can hurt it.
That's a difference.
Yeah,
he didn't repeat to hit the one.
He didn't repeat it. That's a good choice by Sly because Paulie's being silly. Sure. Tony, that's cute, Paulie. I'm going to give him some real talk here, real boxer talk. So ignores Paulie or doesn't hear him. One or the other, doesn't repeat it. That's a great thing to take out, not the repeating that part.
Tony actually kind of sucks here. No offense to Tony. I'm a big Tony fan. I'm a big Tony fan. I love. I know
you're a big Tony fan. This is what I mean. Oh, here we go.
Just to contrast, if you look at Rocky in the Creed movies, being Adonis Creed's corner guy and giving him fight advice and encouragement and stuff like that, he has lots of insightful, both like motivational, insightful things to say, but also good technical things to say. Rocky does such an awesome job in this role. But then you contrast that to Tony. Tony's like, you're fine, no pain, take it to him.
You're right, but I think this is a little different in that Tony and Rocky had already had a conversation about like, you got to do this your own. You have all the tools you need. There's really nothing. It is a psychological match at this point. So his job is just to pep him up and keep him.
Fair enough. If I had to take my own hand at writing something here, I do benefit from having seen the rest of the fight. What I might say is Tony would be like, look, this guy doesn't know what it's like to be in a long fight. He doesn't know what it's like to be hurt. Don't worry about winning the fight right now. Hurt him, cut him, break a rib, do something, and you're going to take him into deep water here. He's never been in deep water before. Take him out there, and then he's yours.
Good advice.
Well, unfortunately, Rocky is a little bit R-word, and so when he hears no pain, he thinks Tony's telling him not to cause any pain to Drago, which really drags his face. He's like, "Oh, no pain. Okay, I'll just let him punch me, I guess, for the next 13 rounds." Then Tony goes back, "What are you doing out there? Oh, you said no pain.
No pain. No pain. Keep taking it to him.
Now, I think that line is new. Is it not? You're not doing what you're told at American Small.
Yeah, no, that's been there before.
Yeah, it's in the original.
And for the record, that's not Russian, according to my guy. He's just gibberish.
I love it. I would love to be the gibberish guy. So
at the time, they're like, well, no one has Google Translate yet. So the only people we're offending are actual Russian speakers.
Which
back in the 80s, those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Would that be hilarious if we lived in a world where you could speak the language if you could just do the accent? That was the language. Hey, it's spaghetti and the meatballs. Hey, oh, he speaks Italian. Look at that guy.
Oh, mamma mia.
Keep walking to him. Walk right in the middle.
Take his heart.
Yes, take his heart. Knock his brains out. Come on, we're waiting here.
There's the bell for round 2. It's been a one-sided fight so far.
It'll take more than luck for Rocky to survive this round. Rocky's been hit with bombs.
Rocky Balboa trying to stay in the middle of the ring against the big Russian.
Move the head. Get it, baby. Do what you gotta do. Stay with him.
Ooh.
For all intent, Rocky Balboa should be on the finish tonight. But he's fighting back for Drago's best punches so far. He's cut and he's bleeding, but he's on his feet and he's on the run.
So the one thing that was different with this version, the director's cut then from the original, was the sound effects. I don't know if you caught that, Kyle.
Yeah, like when he hit Drago with those body shots, they were really thundering, like thud thud.
Well, in the director's cut, you're saying the sound effects are more?
They're muted. They're muted
compared
to the Sly City. He took them down. They have a more. They might hear the thud, but if you listen to the thudding, it's not as Sly said he took them down. They don't sound as thunderous.
Oh, you have Adrian cheering on when he's beating up Drago too. I think that's new. I don't remember that.
Ooh, oh man,
That's the big.
That's
hit.
the same, isn't it?
Yeah. Drago
holds him in the corner, like holds his face, and after the bell. Oh, I kind of forgot this was so early they like get on the floor like wrestlers. It was so early in the fight. This is only round 2.
Yeah. So Drago does the famous punch in the face. That's the one that they showcase in Rocky V that caused the brain damage. It seems to be that's the punch that really rattled Rocky's brain. But then Rocky still finds it to pick him up and body slam him. This is the street fighting that we see in part 5.
It's a gutter war. No holds barred in Moscow. I like the...
But he's here to fight.
And then we hear
that music cue.
Vince Nicola.
Uh-oh. Nikolai's not happy.
This is new, I think, here.
No, that. Oh, this, yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
part of that was there. Part of it wasn't. He's a beast. Is not there before, and How Is My Eye was definitely not there before.
Yeah. So the Russians cut. Drago's feeling pain and blood for the first time in his career. That's why the Russian leadership's nervous.
I think everyone expected it to be just like the Apollo fight, especially since he even trained way harder for this in the Apollo fight, presumably. Drago's probably never been past 2 rounds ever, except for maybe when he first started. And I bet you he's never been caught, ever.
No.
He's in a weird place now that he's never been. He's the novice here. This is like business as usual for Rocky, getting like the shit kicked out of him early in a fight. He was no worse off in the second round against Apollo in the second fight than he is here. Apollo Creed beat the shit out of him badly in that second fight. After the second round against Clubber Lang in that second fight, this is not bad for him. After round 2 here, this is probably, he's around the same spot as he is for all his fights. Like, he knows what he's doing. This is normal for him. Drago, no idea what he's doing.
You see, he's not a machine. He's a man. Being rock, no feelings. Being rock, no feelings.
That's new there. The Hey Rock, no fear, no fear.
So Drago said he's not human. I wonder.
I think it's going to cut back. I think it's going to cut back there, but they're showing back and forth. But that's new. The Hey Rock, no fear, no fear. Mm-hmm. That part when Tony yells, you see, he's not a machine, he's a man. That's a big breakthrough moment. That's a big moment for Tony, number one, or the actor playing Tony Burton. It's a great acting moment, that energy and yelling at Rocky like that, like just kind of sapping through him, like, stop being afraid of this guy. He's just a human like the rest of us. He can bleed like the rest of us. He's not a machine. He's not a robot. He's bleeding. You can cut him. You can hurt him.
Mm-hmm. No pain. No pain. Being with your mind.
Is that Russian, Kyle?
No, I don't think so. Okay, I have to go back to what my friend said. Yeah, actually, I don't know.
I don't think it's probably Russian. If I was to guess. Now we're at the part now in the film, of course, where it's the classic montage of rounds. You've got the boxers exchanging their punches, of course, both feeling pain throughout. This round is that one. This round is that one. And Drago still seems to be carrying the fight as the rounds go on, but Rocky, of course, has that ability to stay
in the game,
coming after him.
That music, there was a part where it was, I wondered if it was a little different. It was like very like electric piano-y there for a minute before, when it was like a turning point. It's like dun 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 dun.
It may have been. I think it's at this point it's the same. Yeah.
Okay.
I believe it's called The Battle. War or The Battle. I can't remember. One of the two titles for this track.
They kept in that. Glad they kept that in, because I always liked when Paulie rubs Tony's head in happiness.
This is a lot of the same fight. I just think in the director's cut, it was more. It might be a little bit in its final round as well.
This side by side is a little different, right?
I think they did that. Did they not do that in the original cut? This is new here. This part here, I think.
Yeah. One thing I'll notice too, and I think this is just like a makeup choice, but Rocky's face looks way less fucked up in this fight compared to Rocky 2.
Well,
Rocky 2, his face looked like hamburger meat.
Well, it's 10 years later. Yeah, like right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like here, he's ostensibly taking a similar beating. He just has a cut over his eye, and otherwise he looks okay.
It's probably a bit of vanity for Sly, because he never had that face mucked up again since that Rocky 2 finale.
Yeah, exactly. He has this obligatory cut over his eye, and that's it. And it's like a very convenient cut. When I say convenient cut, I mean like the blood's not dripping into your eye and blurring your vision. With Drago's cuts are either to the side or under his eye, and same with Rocky. If your eyebrows cut open, then you're kind of fucked because you can't see anything.
So here we go, the classic slow motion, as they do in these films when Rocky's getting punched or his opponent. And around 12 now, and Rocky's telling him to keep going, let's keep going. There was a scene earlier where Drago looked at Rocky, says, I can't believe he's coming back for more, which was obviously very reminiscent of the first film when Apollo couldn't believe that Rocky kept coming back. So even Drago's doing the same. Like, I can't believe this guy keeps coming back for more.
We're pretty far into the fight, and now they're starting to tell us that there's a few cheers for Rocky. Moscow is pro Rocky.
I just don't understand why the crowd changed their mind. It's weird. They might not be yelling Drago. I get that. They're like, oh boy, our champion is failing. He's falling. This is embarrassing. Let's, maybe. But the idea that not only is our representative of our country failing, they don't know about the drugs or the steroids. They should support him. The idea that they turncoat is weird.
I agree.
They shouldn't have to say, oh, our champion lost. That sucked. They might groan, moan, throw garbage in the ring. But for the idea that they would cheer the U.S. champion is not realistic at all.
Agreed, especially in public, in front of the authorities, like in front of like the president and all those important people. Basically humiliate the Russian leaders there by cheering for Rocky. That's inconceivable. Like maybe if you're watching it at home, if you have a television, which a lot of people
privately you're like, I hate the country. I want to see him fall. If you're in Canada, Kyle, we had a Canadian boxer fighting, I don't know, some Australian, but you're like, you secretly hate your country. So you're like,
or try to think about the country we don't like
U.S. for example.
We're your meth head southern neighbors.
Oh no,
we have an operation. I wasn't going to say the U.S., but like
we love the U.S. People that don't like the U.S., that's silly. Generally Canada likes U.S. Every country has.
I was going to say, I don't know if we have like a country that's like our enemy necessarily.
Aren't you guys
probably
like
Russia and China?
Everyone likes.
Okay, we'll say Russia because everyone hates Russia right now because of the Ukraine war. Fair enough. So if we were fighting, if it was like a huge Canadian guy fighting a big Russian or a little Russian guy, and that Russian guy's getting the shit kicked out of him, we'd all be thrilled about that. I think I could see the appeal for some people where it's like a David and Goliath type situation, and they see Rocky persevering in fighting back like this, and it's like kind of cool to see this little guy actually start to win. Like, it's neat. I agree with Ryan overall, though. I think that there's no way this crowd is going to turn like that.
Not in public. I fully agree.
Yeah.
There's a quick little scene here which I liked. I don't remember if it's in the original. So you'll see that Rocky looks around Tony to look at Drago, and Drago looks around his trainer. They look at each other while they're in the corners, which I think is a great artistic choice. I don't know what it means, but the idea they're just still so focused on beating the crap out of each other, they look around their trainers. Do you remember if that was in the original cut or not?
That little flag overlay too wasn't there. There's a few like visual choices that are different.
Here's the look around the trainer part here.
Oh, the faces are actually looking more messed up than I remember.
And then there.
Drago's face looks pretty bad.
Yeah, Drago looks pretty beaten up. He looks more beaten up than Rocky, I'd argue.
Drago's headhunting for the most part, and Rocky's mixing between the head and the body. You think that Drago's face would look comparatively better than Rocky's. Drago's never been punched like this before. He's never taken punishment like this. He's never been in this many rounds. Despite that, I think he's holding up pretty well. He's a great boxer. He's making a good account of himself here for being like a rookie, especially. He has the obvious physical advantage. Right. But
he's getting tired. This is where the seasoned warrior part comes up a little bit, where yes, Rocky's older, but he's done this dance before, so he has the experience.
The psychology's on his side.
Yes.
He knows he's ran this distance. I guess it would be like kind of like someone who's ran a lot of different marathons. You're now running a marathon where it's like, say there's lots of elevation, or it's like really whatever. It's a hard marathon, even for a marathon. You have another guy who's like physically superior, but he's never actually finished a marathon before and doesn't know at like mile 18 or mile 20 or whatever, like, shit starts to get real.
I like that the USA Network is the sponsor or what, like the announcers are with the USA Network. You guys never had that, did you?
No. Although George Foreman fought in Edmonton once, and it was put on by the USA Network.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we had it up here for that briefly, but yeah.
It was big in the 80s.
We get a lot of US TV. Growing up, if you had a cable package, it was not uncommon to get a lot of American channels. For some reason, I got like Spokane, Washington channel, like Creme 2 or whatever. So, but if you're like living in Ontario, you probably get like Detroit channels, stuff
right.
like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's a hostile crowd.
This is incredible.
This is really.
This is the name of our podcast. One more round. This is why we do this. One more round, says Tony. There's no stopping us now. This is our round. Boy, we should have had that as our intro for the podcast. That little moment. One more round. There's no stopping us.
This is our round.
This is our round.
So what they should have done is put Queen song "Don't Stop Me Now" for the final round. Good time, having a good time.
So this leader here points. I always wonder who's
Me
he
too.
pointing. I think what he's doing, this is when the guys come talk to Drago in the corner, right? So is that
Yep.
what he's directing? Go talk to Drago personally?
You see the one he gets up over there. I kind of wished Sly would have taken that out. The guy pointing, because it's really bad.
It doesn't look right because he's
yeah.
pointing. And he's not looking at the guy that got up. They're like 10 feet away or 10 people away from each other. It's odd. Like, who's he talking to?
The trainer's down in the ring, maybe, but
Right.
I don't like that. But I love this next part when the Nikolai comes
What's
down.
the point of him talking to Drago? Like, is that supposed to be like a motivational speech?
No, just remember, you have to win. You're a
knock him out
soldier.
or else.
Yeah, or else.
You know what they should have told Drago? What Tony told Apollo years ago. Don't fight toe to toe for the last round. You could just jab him in the face for 3 minutes.
The points would have gone to Drago for sure.
Yeah. But no, you got to knock out Rocky. If it's not a knockout, it doesn't count. There's never been a points fight other than, sorry, that's a really huge error I just made. The first fight was clearly a points fight, but
right.
Other than that.
All your power, all your love, everything you've got.
So of course he says, you train this fool. He's a disgrace. Now he's going to go talk to Drago. Listen to them, he says. Our people cheer for him, you idiot.
How do you pick him up like that? You don't have like leverage or a grip.
Yeah.
Like, how does he just fall off?
But it's just showing us he's this big behemoth and he can smash this guy
This is
like a bug.
This is why this scene is so weird. This scene here is so.
Oh, but look at that!
Yeah.
Oh my!
So you see the definition in his tricep.
Yeah, it's an amazing build by Dolph. That notwithstanding.
Okay. Look at his legs there. Look at his legs. If you're being lifted up by your throat, are your legs going to go that far back? It's almost like there's something prop. I don't know why I'm pointing at my screen.
Well, it is. He probably has a around his waist,
He's got a wire around his waist. He's being hoisted up. Of course, Dolph's not lifting him. Like, it's movie trickery, but. Within the world that we're watching, this is funny how we went from the first Rocky film. Think about it. The first Rocky film of Rocky talking to Adrian on his bed, I can go the distance. I know it's just another bump. You have that writing. Then you have Sly say Drago picks up Handler with his left arm, lifts him at the ring after 14 rounds of boxing. He has the strength and energy to lift this guy.
But yeah, don't waste your strength, Drago. What are you doing?
Looking back at the Creed movies, this might have been the real reason he got exiled to Ukraine after this fight.
Oh, well, you just wait, Kyle. You haven't seen the director's cut version. There's some differences upcoming.
Okay. There are some. You'll see.
So you're right, but yeah, even more so.
I guess Sly had no choice but to keep this cut. I don't know how they could. Yeah, it's not realistic at all. Like, this just is impossible. Nobody can lift up a human that way.
Or just the fact that this would happen like this, that he decides to go down in the middle of the fight and yell at him, and then
at the very least he could have shoved him. Like, if they go back and filmed it, he could have grabbed them by the throat, and then maybe with his other hand just like shove him off the ring, have him fall to the floor and look at him like, I can't believe you did this, like a look of death on his face. But
they didn't film that. They only had film, so he had to, for the director's cut, he couldn't.
If this guy has to come down here and I would like the scene not to exist, but if it does exist, I would have it so Drago, say he's like this, and then his head turns. He just gives him like this look, like, I'm gonna kill you, and then that guy just like backs off because he knows both
of your scenarios would have been better. But I really do like it, but I like the cheese of the Rocky 4-ness, so that's probably why I like it.
Don't get me wrong, it's fun. I get it. But it's just part of me is just trying to connect the first Rocky film world with this one. It's just so funny.
Yeah, you're right. They're two different people at this point.
He just drops him a little bit.
That's
See,
new.
there's more there. That's new. Yeah, more yelling back at Drago on the floor. That's new for sure. He says, "I fight to win," says Drago.
Yes,
For me,
Yes,
for me,
Livia.
turns to the leaders.
That is Russian. Yeah.
The other thing too is that growing up, we hear Brigitte, and it's less. I think we even get a scene of her. They cut to her saying "Niet" in the original cut, and I always
right.
thought she was supporting Drago.
telling
Yeah,
him to
that's my
stop.
husband. But
Yeah.
"Niet" is no, right?
Yeah, she's telling him to put him down.
Yeah.
Stop. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think she's right to say that.
She
choke
is, but
out
I
like this
never.
guy.
Did anyone
She
else
sees her.
think, as growing up though?
I always
that
knew she was telling him to stop.
Oh, you did. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
just
weird. I mean,
That
for
she
me,
was like, "You've gone too far." She's like, "You've gone too far." Yeah.
What a giant embarrassment for the Soviet Union here, though. You have this fight where you're like, we're gonna fuck this guy up big time, and then your fighter is starting to, I don't lose, but like it's not going well, and then the crowd turns on him, and then one of your officials gets choked out. This is almost like WWF, like
That's what I mean.
chair
Yeah,
shit,
yeah.
know.
The referee's knocked out, and the count doesn't count. Yeah.
Listen to him, Rock. They're calling your name. They're calling your name.
Your boy hurt. We stop fight now.
That's all new. Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
him.
pretty
Tony's
fucking
saying they're
bad
calling your
accent.
name. That's not in the original either. So Tony's saying they're calling your name. That's
okay. Good call.
Oh, I like how the ref's trying to be corrupt to stop the fight. That is something they would do. The Soviets, like, to get out of this. Like, that is 100% in their wheelhouse.
and that's why Rock has this look here, which is this old new footage here. Rock is looking at him like, "Don't you dare stop this fight,
or I'll kill you."
Don't stop nothing. Let it come here. Then this fight sitting down.
New.
I watch closely.
Yeah, you do that. Go talk to him. He's hurt too.
Oh, I forgot. That's all new.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
this
whole
is
scene.
totally new.
That's what Kyle was saying. That Tony caught onto what Kyle was saying. That the rest being corrupt. He's like coming over to Rocky. "You're hurt. I'm going to stop the fight." And Tony's like, "Drago's hurt too. Have you talked to their corner? Because he looks pretty beaten up too. So why are you just talking to our corner to stop? You want us to defer the fight to Drago?"
I'll point out too, they've highlighted that if you look at Drago's midsection, you could see that it's taken a lot of abuse. Like, you see his face, but the makeup people are making it clear to you that Drago's taken a lot of punishment to the body for reasons which I'm not aware. They somehow didn't do that with Apollo or Clubber with the makeup. I don't know why they didn't do that, but
they tried.
They didn't.
There's the bell. The war is on.
The whole life, Rock.
Your whole life, no pressure, no pressure.
Yeah.
But Drago's literal life is
Here you
on
go
the
to the
line.
end. He's going to say to the end. Remember, it's to the end.
This is the last round.
To the end.
Yeah.
I wish the British guys were commenting the whole time.
Yeah, I know.
They're so much better at that. It's like the last round.
The British get the speaking of, like, about, we were talking about accents. They always sound smart, even if they're not smart. Just
yeah.
yeah.
Well, a certain part of them.
Good
Like,
true.
if,
That's true.
If you go to
The
England,
posh
in some
accent.
places,
Right.
there's some
Royal
accents that sound
British.
not very smart.
Good point.
Yeah, there's the Cockney or whatever
Mhm.
they are. There's the British accents that you find in the pub, and there's the British accents you
Yeah.
find at the castle, so to speak. But
It's almost like like the Americans had for a while the transatlantic accent,
Mm-hmm.
which
isn't a real thing, but that's wild. Yeah.
it was like made up. But
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
like what they would use.
Yep.
Rocky Balboa is coming up for another one. See,
See, 1940s reporter.
he's taking a real beating. See, what a wallop!
Fighters will be standing at the end of this round.
Drago snaps out a stiff jab. And another.
Fight like this the whole time, Drago. The whole time, bro.
so the final round, I think it's more or less the same. I think some of the cuts and angles are just different. Again, Sly just took down the sounds of the punch to make them sound more realistic. Because I think if you go back to the original cut, they sound more, I forget the word that Sly used during the documentary of this cut, but he was saying that they sounded cartoonish or something. In fact, they were too. So Rocky's doing the old hit me thing, hit me in the chest, and now he's fighting back at Drago with the big punches.
Did they shorten that? I swear that was longer. I felt like in the original cut, I'm like, for God's sake, hit him, please.
I think it does seem to be that Rocky gets to Drago a lot quicker in the stretcher's cut of knocking him out. But they're doing the old trading back and forth. Drago's got him in the corner now, but Rocky goes right back at him. This is definitely Rocky's round, I think. Oh, he's almost about to go down. Drago's got some more energy. This is the old, it's a street fight. Who wants it more?
This is Rocky 2, just with different people.
Yeah, good point.
Other than the double knockdown they don't do, but otherwise it's just Drago's going for the knockout, and he shouldn't. He's got to pay the price.
And that's always a great scene when he's getting hit in the ribs by Rocky. Drago, Dolph's acting of being hurt in the ribs. I thought he acts the physical pain very well. I think Drago.
Yep.
Of course, Adrian yells out, "You're going to do it." I just love that. I don't know why, but
chop him down.
It's like how many punches these guys can take. It is kind of funny. It is funny to watch how much they're. So Drago goes down. That's a new shot there. Drago trying to get up. That kind of looks new. He's out. Now watch this, Kyle. This is new. I don't think this is in the original. Tell me if I'm wrong. But him jumping into Tony's arms or this angle or something. It looks different to me.
Yeah, that's new.
Is it?
Yeah. Before he was just like.
Yeah. So I think him being held up is new. I don't.
Okay.
This is where it'd been nice to have the side by side. I admit, I apologize, but I feel like him jumping into Tony's arms was not in the original.
I'm really glad we're not doing side by side. I think that's a good call not to do that. I think it's super
there's too much. Like I get it. There's some things like that because we get to him being held there. I get that by Tony.
It's not materially different. This fight with the director's cut, like there's some stylistic stuff, but it's really the same thing.
The end, though, from here on out, there's quite a few differences.
Okay, and I have some translation stuff of this Rocky speech in the translation because it was like poorly
translated.
There was some stuff that my friend got a real kick out of Rocky's the translation of Rocky's speech.
Did you want to translate, Kyle, or no?
Let's do the speech, and I'll just say the commentary afterwards.
Okay.
It's a little bit different, I think, but keep watching.
I came here tonight.
And you notice the sound's different? Mm-hmm. They made it sound more like he's really in the stadium kind of sound and not like just into the movie microphone.
Oh.
I didn't know what to expect.
I like that change. That's a good change.
There's a lot of people hating me. My best friend.
It's new here.
Once said, you can't change. He died.
There you go. So what do you think of this so far, Kyle?
I like it. Bringing Apollo into it at the end, especially since this is technically why he's doing it. Yeah. Like, this is way better.
But there's also more cuts back to Drago's, how he's viewing this.
Which I love. I think that's great.
And that is a very fair statement that Rocky said, my friend said you can't change, but he died. That's a pretty big change.
And to quote Darwin, it's not the strongest of the species that survives. It's the one most adaptive to change.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
In here, there were two guys killing each other, but I guess that's better than 20 million.
Я думаю, что это лучше, чем даже 20 миллионов.
What I'm trying to say is that if I can change,
я думаю, что каждый тоже изменился сегодня.
And you can change.
Вы можете измениться.
Everybody can change.
There you go. See, did you catch the difference there? It's more subdued. He just goes, everybody can change. It's more like not everybody can change. It's just like everybody can change. Hey.
And there's no cheering or anything in the background.
No, they filmed it both ways, which I found interesting. That's what I found the most surprising. Is the dialogue is the same, but the way the stylist, like Sly said, hey, let's film it with me being subdued about it, me being robust about it. This isn't CGI or AI. This was him filming it two different ways in the 80s. So it's interesting that
makes sense. You do a whole bunch of takes.
Yeah, but we talked about that before. You can't do it for every scene on every film, or else you'd be filming forever.
Yeah. But you think the speech would be important enough that you want to try some stuff out?
Yeah, fair enough on this one. Yeah. Light cheering. And he kisses the crowd and says thank you. Because now remember the translator in the original goes,
to my kid who's home who should be in bed.
Yeah, that's out, isn't it?
Yeah, this was a lot substantially better in the director's cut.
That was kind of a sweet moment, though. He said, "Kid, I love you," and then the kid mouths it back, and he's
crying. The kid's crying a little bit, which is sweet.
But the robot's there.
Your dad didn't get murdered on Christmas. Best Christmas ever.
Mm-hmm.
That's my present to you, son, as I'm still breathing.
They should have done something where they just said to my kid who's at home, and take out the part that should be sleeping. Is my kid's at home. I love you. Merry Christmas, kid. That they should have kept that in and have the kid love you, dad, because that's a very sweet moment. But you're right. Anything referencing the robot, around the robot, whatever it is gone. So Kyle, it's a little bit different. You've got the original speech with the original.
Yeah, I have the original speech, which we've all heard. So this is my friend's commentary, and he's a native Russian speaker. He says, a translator interprets Rocky's victory speech. He says, translation was meh, not spectacular. Announcer translates about 50% of what Rocky is saying. So Rocky says, thank you, thank you. Announcer says, thank you very much. Rocky says, I came here tonight, and I didn't know what to expect. And the announcer says, when I entered the ring tonight, and that's it.
Oh, really?
He says, when I entered the ring tonight. And then Rocky said, I seen a lot of people hating me, and I didn't know what to feel about that, so I guess I didn't like you much, none either. And then the announcer translates, I thought I didn't like them either. That's all he said.
They got lazy. They're like, well, I'll just do a few lines.
But he did say in general, this announcer was legit Russian speaker with a good accent. And he said, during the fight, I seen a lot of changing. And then the announcer says, during the entire fight, I realized a lot changed. And then Rocky says, the way you felt about me and the way I felt about you. And the announcer says, and I felt you changed too. To be fair, when you translate languages, you can't say things the exact same way. There's some latitude. And then Rocky says, in here, there were two guys killing each other, but I guess that's better than 20 million. And then the announcer, and this is the part he thought was funny, the announcer says, and I think it's better than $20 million.
What? That's way different.
Yeah. So Rocky says, what I'm trying to say is, if I could change, and the announcer says, so I think everyone changed today. And then Rocky says, and you could change. Then the announcer says, and you can change. Rocky says, everyone can change. And then the announcer translates, everyone can change. And then Rocky says, I just wanted to say one thing to my kid who should be at home sleeping. Merry Christmas, kid. And the announcer translates, Merry Christmas to you, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
And so one thing I was thinking, though, just while I was saying all that, is that we talked about doing different takes, right? I don't know how good this guy is at translating, whoever they had. I don't know if they just told him, hey, you speak Russian. Whatever Sly says, you just translate into Russian. Or if he memorized what to say in Russian and just said that every time, knowing that almost nobody would understand it anyway.
Perhaps.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I just got a kick out of that. You know, I've always wondered what they really said. And my biggest disappointment is I thought for sure that they'd announce Rocky's weight in the ring. And I'm like, I finally know a Russian speaker. I finally got to find out how much he weighed, because I'm like, did Rocky bulk up? Did he get a lot heavier?
Well, he did. We physically see him
yes,
heavier.
we did see that, but we don't know. I want to know the number, damn it.
Yeah.
I want to know, is it
what's your guess? If he's 201 or 202 in Rocky 3?
Yeah, he's got to be 215 to 220 in that film, I would say.
But his actual weight's like maybe 160.
I don't know.
175.
Okay, so now we're going to watch the final moments here of Rocky's exit of the ring, which is different than the original cut for sure.
And what happens with Drago.
Right.
What? They're doing Eye of the Tiger?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna mute it for copyright claims.
No. He stands up with Eye of the Tiger in the background, the Russian guy.
But look what he did.
They didn't get up and cheer this
He
time.
left.
Okay. Yeah,
He got up and left angry.
Distracted by Eye of the Tiger. Why is that in here?
That's question one. You're right. So Eye of the Tiger's playing, but for our listeners who maybe haven't seen the director's cut, the leaders got up and left. They didn't stand up and cheer this time. They got left pissed off.
I agree with that. Although,
then the disgraced, this Nikolai guy is sitting there seething like he's now in big trouble too.
I still want to think that Rocky inspired Gorbachev to do Glasnost and Perestroika and hastened the end of the Soviet Union with his speech. I want to believe that. So I like the idea of the guy clapping instead.
Oh, okay.
But the audience is clapping.
Yeah.
Still.
The audience is clapping, you're right, but the leaders were pissed off, so they took off in a huff. Now here we go. So he's going over to Drago. This is all new here.
I know. Watch this.
He goes over to Drago.
What?
Yeah. Gives him a kind of a high five and leaves. That's it.
He should have slapped Ludmilla's ass there in front of Drago. Just to be like, I own you now. I could do stuff to your wife you can't defend her. Just to be a dick, you know?
Now, the crowd here is cheering and stuff. But remember, this was filmed in Vancouver. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah. Remember I showed you that video of like behind the scenes filming? And those people had like super Canadian accents?
Right. So, and I say that because Rocky's doing, the characters kind of do kissing to the crowd and stuff. But that's Sly saying thanks to the crowd for being extras in the film.
I am dumbfounded that they chose Eye of the Tiger. Something that's so clearly the Rocky 3 theme that gets shoehorned. Use some Bill Conti shit for this, for God's sake. Like, that is just, how dumb are you that you would put
the Kyle's cut. The Kyle's Sly directors. Yeah.
I can't believe that. Like,
I agree
honestly,
that that's a bad choice.
Eye of the Tiger there,
Mhm.
I thought to myself, someone put this in to troll me. This is some video on the internet. Oh my God.
Also, then it went through a montage of black and white photos. That wasn't in the original either, was it, Ryan?
No.
Like during the credits rolling?
No. He's doing the same thing that he did in sorry, let me go back to this.
Like Rocky 5?
There's a quick shot there. There's black and white photos throughout. That's just that's the same thing they did at the end of Rocky 5. Yeah. They're just Sly's doing it for the events that led up to Rocky 4. He's doing, yeah. Okay.
Really quick.
Oh, yeah, please.
Luis pointed out he thought that Sly said that he was around 175, 180 in Rocky 4.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. For his height, whatever that is, I guess it's a mystery. Some say 5'7", some say 5'9". Who knows? Yeah, it's like pretty.
Depends on his shoes.
Yeah.
Okay. We actually have questions left that we can start when we cover Rocky 5. I think we just must have missed some on some recordings, so we can just double up. It's not a big deal. Okay. Or we could just do like finish up 4 and start 5 next episode. Just make it a double trivia.
How many questions are we talking?
Yeah, we could almost finish. You're right, Kyle. If we want, we could just do a quick. Yeah, we're almost done.
Is it 5 more or 3?
Not even. So let's just go through. Okay. Just tally up as we go, Kyle. Tally up as we go. Honor system. Let's just knock it out. Then we'll be done.
Oh, you're going to ask us 3 more questions, Ryan?
Yeah, at the very end.
Oh,
it's like,
okay.
Yeah, we can do it really quickly. Okay.
Okay.
So who says you just shut up and all those puppets that you brought here? I put down Apollo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apollo. Yeah.
Apollo.
Who says Drago is a look at the future?
Comrade Big Mouth.
The handler guy.
Nikolai.
Again, he says Drago's trained in the book, but we know who it is. Yeah. Here we go. Yeah, Apollo winks to Rocky right before Drago and Apollo shake hands. So there's a few things going on here.
Is that when he winked? Because I know he winked, but I thought maybe it was like
wink.
Not
he does, but it's to his wife.
And I thought it was to his wife too.
Yeah.
That's what I put too. I put false because I think it's to his wife.
Yeah, same.
I crossed out true and turned it to false, which
me too, Kyle.
I always feel bad about doing that because I'm like, you should trust your gut, but I put false.
But it is to his wife.
Yeah, we'll double check the film footage. I think we're all right. Again, this was done by 9/10-year-old Rocco. He said true. I think no, but we're gonna say false. I think this is where we're all on the same page that the book might be wrong. No offense to Rocco.
To be fair, if we all got the same answer, it's irrelevant. Of so let's just mark ourselves right for this, but if we all have it right, it's fine.
Yeah, but I think what Rocco probably saw as a kid was him winking, thinking it was to Rocky, but it was winking at the wife. He might have missed the nuance there because it doesn't show the same shot. It just shows the wife and him and you. Yeah, for all we know, Rocky was in Apollo's eyesight, but then we just saw the face of the wife. Who knows, right? So, okay. What fight are Rocky and Apollo watching at Rocky's house, Katie?
I put their first fight.
Oh, no.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, it's for sure a Rocky 2 fight.
Damn it.
Mickey and Rocky watched the first fight, of course.
I knew. Oh,
Jerry pumps that jab at your eye.
Myself. Damn it. Okay,
got that going back in the ring with him, kid. Thanks, Mick. It's the first time you ever said you're proud of me.
It's funny he actually calls it the Creed versus Balboa rematch. That's funny that's how he answered it. Okay, true or false? Paulie's coat says, "Don't tread on me." I said true.
It sure does.
Man, I'm kicking ass.
I can give you guys 1 second each to kind of think. What did the U.S. magazine call Apollo's death?
I'm guessing on this one.
I'm guessing too on this one.
I'm sure I'll get this wrong.
What day was Rocky told the fight should be on? What day was Rocky told the fight should be on? Or I guess it probably should say what it's going to be on. But yeah, I've only got one answer. Should isn't the best word there, Rocco. But next question: how many? Oh, here we go. How many PSI does a normal heavyweight punch?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I have it's between 2 numbers for me.
Yeah, so pick one number, and whoever's closest you can go over. It's whoever's closest you can go over. Okay, I've got my number. Okay, and then of course last one is who says I feel born again. We all know that one. So that's easy. Okay. All right. So let's go back.
Apollo Creed found Jesus Christ and accepted him as his Lord and personal Savior.
What did the U.S. magazine call Apollo's death? I said death from above.
That's what I
said. That tragedy. Could they call Drago death from above?
I think. Yeah.
I thought the question was describing his death.
So his death from above is the answer.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Sweet. You can afford to lose one, Kyle.
What day was the Rocky told the fight should be on? Yes, Christmas, of course.
December 25th on Christmas.
Just how many pounds per square inch does a normal body heavyweight punch? What did you put, Katie?
I put 750.
That's
Kyle?
close. I went 650. I thought it was 6 or 7. I just went between the two.
Okay, I was the furthest off. I won't give you my answer, but I'm going to say this. You two have to have a tiebreaker. Pick a different number.
What was Kyle's answer?
Okay, I'm going with 7 then. Okay, I went with 650. You went with 750?
Yeah.
I guess you both get the point then. You're right. Because
Just 700 pounds?
Yeah, you're right.
Yes. Okay,
You
because
both
it's
got
a
right.
tiebreaker. I know mathematically the answer's 7.
We would both, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
fair
cool.
enough. That doesn't make sense. Yes. You both
So
got
there
that
were
one.
nine questions today, Ryan?
No, that's it. Born Again was a Paul. That's it. Yeah, there's
Oh, yeah,
nine. So I think it was the one day
Okay.
we did the
Hold
one
on.
question was just all the quotes from Drago.
I
Okay,
got
so
8 out of 9.
Yeah, same.
I got 8 out of 9.
That was pointless. We didn't. Okay, I'll tell you who won Rocky IV. Ryan got 41 points.
Oh.
I got 44 points.
Ooh.
Katie got 43. Yeah.
Good job, Kyle.
Wow,
you
Kyle
guys,
won.
I lost by 1. Remember, I said I was going to be pissed if I lost by 1.
We all fall into the same category. Rocky goes the distance with the huge Russian and wins on a split decision, so that we all fell into the same spread.
Okay, so the scores for like the running totals. Last is Ryan at 160. Slightly ahead of Ryan is me at 162. And way ahead of me is Katie at 168.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
So there's it is possible to catch up. We need
There's
we
2
need
more
Doug or
movies.
someone to come on a couple more times for Katie. Katie, I need you to go on a couple more vacations, and we're gonna get
I
some.
can probably guarantee you that I will.
I might actually get a couple people on here who've never seen the Rocky movies to do your questions.
Yeah, right.
All right. Well, thanks, everyone. That was an amazing season 4. A lot of coverage, amazing episodes, 14 episodes to cover one film, but took not in a bad way, but it took a little bit longer because of the back and forth between the two films. Rocky 5 won't have that. We're going to get into Rocky 5 next episode. It's hard to believe season 5, Rocky 5, last 2 seasons of the podcast. We're getting there.
I've been preparing people. Remember those?
Yeah.
Remember all those videos I sent you for the record of like preparing? Finally, get to use those. I've been waiting out Rocky 4 forever.
Yeah. With that, this episode's over.
I didn't hear no bell.
I just want to say